Hello and welcome to another Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer online battle. Well, it's multiplayer, but yeah, you get what I mean. With the Rise of the Tomb Kings. Today we are playing as the Disciples of Nagash, or however this faction is called, together with the basic Tomb Kings, against a greenskins player and a Chaos player. And yeah, let's go for the deployment. Yes, the map is called MP Alpine Ridge. One of the MP map pack maps. Yeah. And for my deployment, I've brought four... let's start with the enemy's deployment, shall we? As you can see, we have some Vanguard deployed NG small groups Marauder, as well as the Thief Robbers, the elite Goblin Wolf Chariots. And then for the main core of the army or of the greenskins, we have four groups of level 9 goblins. Here you can see their stats, they are pretty defensive. And I don't know how much they cost, but that would be interesting. As well as one group of Dark Crimson Killers. As well as one unit of Black Orcs, also leveled up to level 9. And then naturally Scars, well, not naturally, oh, they are Crookmoon, not greenskins. Skarsnik, here with his unique quick, as well as a Goblin Doomdiver and an Ragnarok Queen. Then for the Chaos player we have here bit deployed away from the army two Dragon Ogre Shaggoths, as well as Zatoriel, not Sheogorath. Who was Sheogorath? I think that's from Warcraft, whatever. And one Doom Cannon, Hell Cannon, sorry, as well as a Feral Manticore here in the air. And here deployed in the forest we have three groups of Chaos Warriors as well as two groups of Chaos Marauders with great weapons to be seen here. And then one group of Chaos Warhounds with poison. And for my allies deployment, oh, I forgot these two groups of Night Goblins Quick Hoppers, the Vanguard deployed here at the edge of the map. For my allies army we have a front line of four groups of Skeleton Swordsmen, they are Skeleton Warriors with swords, and two groups of Skeleton Spearmen at the flanks, as well as an elite blob of three units of Tomb Guard with halberds, as well as a Blessed Legion of Vargt here in the back line. It's been a while since I've played this game, since I had my exams and all this stuff, but yeah. And then we have two Swingses here. Here one Necro Swings, the basic Necro Swings, as well as, how's it called? Well, the Tomb King on a War Swings, no mage whatsoever. Then here two Tomb Scorpion Vanguard deployed, as well as one group of Skeleton Horsemen. I really like the Tomb Scorpions for being able to be Vanguard deployed. That's just great. And for my army we have two groups of Nehekaran horsemen here, as well as Tomb King on a horse, together with Tomb Strike and Reanimate for the leadership. And then Light Wizard. I just thought since net got debuffed I could bring it for once, and especially against the big creatures of Chaos it might be useful. And so I brought the Curse of Kahar for some reason. I don't know if you can turn it off. I probably should have if possible, but I wasn't thinking about this. And the Net of Amitok, as well as Fast Protection, to buff up my protection against the mighty Chaos Warriors. And then for my core I have also four groups of Skeleton Swordsmen and two groups of Skeleton Spearmen. And then behind that two group of Ushaptis without great bows. Yeah, without, not with. It's kind of important to say that because most people bring them with, so as well as a Necrotect on foot with the passives and the Vanquishers of the Sun, as well as the Restore ability to heal my Ushapti if necessary, since they are the really only real strong core unit, not cavalry unit, that I have in this army, especially against armor. And then two units of Skeleton Archers, one being the Blessed Legion, because, well, You want to bring AP against Chaos, and Chaos it is. I brought AP against. As well as these 3 groups of units, 1 unit of Cairn Wraiths, Hex Wraith, as well as 2 units of basic Skeleton Horsemen. These Hex Wraiths do not take the Realm of Souls, don't have the Realm of Souls abilities, so they won't be regenerating, but still I thought, who would think that someone would bring these Hex Wraiths, which are pretty underused. Well, they are kind of weak in certain situations and can be easily countered, but who would think that someone would bring them, especially as the Tomb Kings. So I brought them. Also, this one has a freaky helmet. Ooh, there are horns in it. And yeah, I just wanted to bring some different units once in a while. Also build a more cavalry focused army here. And as you can see, my Lich Priest is also on a horsey here. So let's get the battle started. At this point I didn't see this army here, as you can see. I will see it shortly though. Yeah. And here we have the first Hell Cannon shot going right into my spearmen, killing a whole lot of them, or at least dealing a lot of damage, while here their troops are retreating and the Morgroth's Ranger Marauders basically pulling off withdrawal strategy, which would have been pretty effective against these Scorpions since they are stronger. And at this point we basically decided to, clutch up on this guy, because he's kind of deployed far away from his ally here. And at some point when I move my troops here, I will see their army here, because right now I'm hiding them. I did not notice that my Hex Wraiths were visible, but sooner or later I will notice that. So I'm pulling my troops around, positioning my spearmen here at my backline to protect against Dragon Ogres and other troops here. Also pulling my archers a bit more to the side so that they don't get killed by the Hell Cannon. Here we have the patient... What is that thing shooting on? Well, we have some Doom Weathers going down, as well as a Metal Rain thing. Searing Shards of Doom is a spell, I think. And for an MP map, this map just looks amazing. Do the orcs do a counter charge here, I wonder? Does not seem like it. So they get charged and don't get their bonus here. At the same point, I've found the Chaos Army, which was not good, and tried to run my troops out before they get caught and basically bait them here with my Skeleton Horsemen so that they don't kill my Hex Wraith, which I want to use against the orcs here, which are in full engagement against these Tomb Kings. And the center is kind of losing to these Black Orcs and Crimson Killers, but the Tomb Scorpions come in and basically clear up a bit. While their Lord kind of lost against Scarsnake and the Spider, my Hex Wraiths come in and basically kill his Doom Divers. And right now I'm positioning my troops to basically get into their back, get a rear charge off against this goblins, so that they fall pretty fast and my ally gets their troops a bit freer, because, well, that would be dangerous. Also, I'm sending out my Skeleton Spearmen after the Hell Cannon, because it was basically staying there, free to take, and yeah. Right now my ally's Lord is kind of in a bad situation here, being focused down by Morgroth's Magic Marauders and stuff. Also we have the Squeakhoppers coming in, as well as the Chaos Poison Warhounds, and I try to send in my troops to basically assist my archers here, because they will pretty much die instantly to these Warhounds. But my cavalry is pretty offensive, and if they get a flank charge, that would be great. And I'm not too proficient with... Huh? Okay, forget about it. And at this point we are kind of focusing down the Ragnaroks Queen, and as you can see the Warhounds are routed off while my troops are basically here. This troop of Skeleton Spearmen just got their healing wave in and now is holding up 2 groups of Chaos Warriors. Great cost efficiency, while these Chaos Marauders basically got a back rear charge into my Skeleton Swordsman, which is not too good. Or no, it was a frontal charge. But at this point I have to kind of watch out because these Dragon Ogres are kind of pounding the center here. Tried to bring in my Shabti against these Black Orcs to assist my ally here a bit. Also do some rear charges with my Hex Rays, which deal terror, I think. And here I completely miss back charge for these Skeleton Warriors, which is bad. Also the Squig Hoppers came in and attacked my allies Park's Blessed Legion. But I still have my Skeleton Archers somewhere. Yeah, they're here in the mix. Close to the combat, so they get better accuracy against these Dragon Ogres. By the way, I don't mean that in a bad way, I just want them to be closer so that their missiles are not that easy to miss due to animations. And here we have a little countercharge with the Manticore against my Nehekaran Horsemen, which is a good call. But on the other hand, I had 2 troops running towards this cannon and gave them basically an order to run around and rear charge them. We will see in a second how that works out. And yeah, this Hellcannon shot did miss kinda. Here we have my summoned Ushabtis basically attacking these Chaos Warriors, because my Skeleton Swordsman wouldn't do too much against it. And here we have the Toriel running away from this Necrosphinx, probably a good call. And as you can see, this player wasn't paying attention to this blob here, and yeah, rear charge on the cannon, which was already in a bad shape, so we will kill the crew there in a moment. Also, I've netted the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth here, just because I had the Winds of Magic free and didn't know what to do what else to do with it, so yeah, yay. Also, I did a little rear charge here with my Hex Wraith, and I think I will cycle charge in a moment there. But right now I'm more concerned about focusing down these Dragon Ogres. And here we have a little thing of Hafnir going down. Right now I don't really have a good target for my Ushabtis here, or I would have here, but yeah, there I moved them. Here in the melee blob they won't do too well. As you can see, the Necrosphinx together with the archer support is pretty good at taking down these Dragon Ogres, which this one is trying to run. The Shagger, while the Toriel is here on the flank, messing up a lot of troops. And then I net it so that it can't run away and shoot it down. Just using the normal version of net because I don't need the AoE net and it's kind of nasty. And these 9 seconds were enough to bring it down. So at this point we have routed off the Chaos troops and most of the Goblin forces. Both of our armies are not in the best shape, but also not in a bad shape. And I think at this point my Necrotech dies here. And we get a little metal buff here, I guess? Let's see. Okay. Lore of Metal, yeah, glittering ropes. So that it has more armor, but since Fark Blessed Legion is shooting on it, it kind of gets negated. And at this point I'm trying to focus down this one Dragon Ogre. Yes, Ushabtis are not the best, but they have the highest attack and armor piercing, and I don't want my melee infantry to be locked in and get damaged by AoE attacks. Here we have a little Searing Doom once again going down, doing good amount of damage against my Ushabtis. Think about 1/5 of their life points. while I'm routing off the remaining troops with my Hex Wraith here. But at this point we have the Tomb Guard of my ally, which is pretty healthy at this point, coming in, and it's not good for that Dragon Ogre. You can believe me that. While Skarsnik is here duking it out with some Tomb Guard. Yeah, he doesn't really have problems with that. At this point I tried some volleys against these troops, but nah, that does not work too well. Also Sartorial is attacking my archers here. Not nice, Sartorial. Not nice. And yeah.
Bring my chariot. Speed up.
Let's see. At this point all of the Goblin army routes, as well as most of the Chaos army. Just Sartorial, who is unbreakable, stays firm and tries to Searing Doom this massive blob. But luckily we move aside and only take a minimal amount of damage. Also, yeah, thank you. Right now, Sartorial is kinda starting to run away, which is bad because I thought that this player might want to do a hit and run, and that would be pretty annoying, so I do another annoying thing here. And net him. Which did not run well for him. Of course my Tomb King comes in with Tomb Strike. Yeah, he was riding around and I didn't really focus on him too much. Unless he was focused by the Dragon Ogre, in which case I drew him out so that he did not die. Because my ally's leader died, and that was not fun. And here we have the death of Sartorial, which marks the end of this battle. Let's take a look at the kill counts. My whole skeleton frontline didn't do too much, even though they were off against some goblins, but mostly they were off against Chaos Warriors and these Chaos Marauders, so they didn't fare too well. Also these goblins were pretty tanky, because they were elite goblins. That sounds weird. And my Blessed Legion also didn't get too many kills, but they were mostly firing at the Dragon Ogres, so that was to be expected, and that was pretty good. They did a good amount of damage there, as to be expected. And for my cavalry, my basic skeleton horseman, this one was the one that was caught right in the beginning, and this one was the one that later kind of ran around and tried to basically kite away the Dragon Ogres for a moment, then did one charge or so and died. They are not really strong, they are more squishy and are there to attack. They are cheap cavalry to attack weak targets, weak melee targets. Weak targets, targets that are weak to charges and stuff like this. Kinda like a bit squishier dogs. Yeah, something like that. And they are pretty fast and have Vanguard deployment, so I think they are even cheaper than dogs. Or the War Hounds and whatsoever. And the Dire Wolf. Yeah. And then the Nehikaran Horsemen did also a good amount of damage, but also died all. They are also pretty squishy and a bit more offensive than these basic skeleton horsemen, so that's a good thing for them. I think they have also more attack power, and basically I charged them into some of the Chaos Warriors, and there some of them died. Yeah, but they managed to kill some Poison Warhounds and other stuff, so good work for them. And for my Hex Wraith, 121 kills against some important targets like the Doomdiver Catapult. I mean, some of the how is it called again? Chaos Warriors, yeah. And I think in terms of kills, they are my MVPs. Not only for the kill count, but also for the kill importance. Even though the archers did a bit more in terms of kill importance for, well, bigger targets. And my Ushabtis basically hold my center line. I think that's what they are made for. Either circling around and get into the backline or fight with your cheap front line. So that's basically the strength of the Tomb Kings. One of their strengths. There are many strengths. And my Tomb King, he didn't see too much battle because I didn't want to send him into Skarsnik the Dragon Ogre, Sartorial. Not unless, well, they were kinda alone and singled out. But even against Dragon Ogres, I won't send him in, because he was on a horse, and that bonus damage and the normal damage of these Dragon Ogres, not too good for him. While my Lich Priest did a good amount of netting and casting Fast Protection. And yes, I'm using Fast Protection, or else my troops wouldn't have held these Chaos Warriors for long enough. I have to keep my skeletons alive, and defensive spells are just great there. And they did a good choice at focusing down my Necrotect. In retrospect, I could have healed my allies' Necroswings, but I did not think about that, because I didn't think about the Necrotect. Once again, it's been a while since I last played, probably 1 or 2 weeks. And yeah, there I should have paid more attention to that. And for my ally here, their frontline did a bit better, except the troops that probably fought against the Black Orcs. Yeah, skeletons fall apart against Black Orcs, which is not really too unexpected. But against the Goblins, they did a good amount of work here. The Skeleton Swordsman naturally a bit better than the Skeleton Spearman. And for the Tomb Guards, they didn't get too many kills, but they were not too much in battle, and when they were in battle, they were against these big targets, or Skarsnik, which, yeah, hold out a bit of damage, but they were good at holding them down and focusing them out, so that was a good work there. And for my allies frontline, it were the Tomb Scorpions, which basically hold their line and took care of these Black Orcs. And the Skeleton Horsemen didn't do too well against Morgoth Manji Marauders and the Thief Robots. But the Blessed Legion of Thought also did a pretty good job at shooting at some troops of them, especially the big ones, and focusing out, for example, the Ragnarok Green, together with the Necroswings and their leader, the Tomb King on his Warswings. They didn't get too many kills, but once again they were focusing. Even though I think the Warswing is way better at fighting against infantry than fighting against big targets, partially because of its movement, its special attack, which basically jumps through the whole enemy unit, and it's hard to bind down, and you have to keep it moving and charge in, charge out. Then it's pretty darn devastating. But against an Ragnarok spider, especially against the Queen, it's not working too well. And then for the enemy, the Goblins did pretty well. So that I think that's money well spent, especially since they are expendable. So even if they die, they don't really tear down the other units, even though they are elites. Which is kind of a funny thing. Oh no, our elites died. No, elite died. Oh no, no one cares. They are goblins. Goblin elites, yeah. Kind of weird. And then the Black Orcs did a good amount of work. It's kind of sad that the Crimson Killers got less kills than the actual Black Orcs, but I think they got hit harder by the Tomb Scorpions, which are pretty effective against Crimson Killers. And yeah. Finally, we have the Night Goblins. Night Goblins Quicker Hoppers, which did a good amount of back charge there, better than my troops. Better than my cavalry troop here, backcharging, well, except this one, but for my other units, they didn't do too well. And they were focusing down the Dark Blessed Legions, as well as the one troop of basic archers, but at the on point they got caught and basically lost due to the moral loss, leadership loss. And finally, Morgoth's Manji Marauders and the Thief Robbers did a good amount of kills, partially against archers, against these archers, I think, but also against some harder targets like the Tomb Scorpions and stuff like that. You have to keep in mind they have armor-piercing missiles and can hurt pretty much, while I don't think the Thief Robbers didn't too well. I don't really know how well they were performed against the Tomb Scorpions or at what they were shooting. But shooting at them with my archers was traded some volleys, and that did not go well for my archers. So yeah, I stopped it. And the Doomdiver Catapult was standing too close to the front line, so it got backcharged by the Hex Wraith and died to it. and the Ragnarok Spider was focusing down the Tomb King, but then got shot down in a fight with the Necro Swing, so yeah, kind of sad. Sadly, you don't see the skills of the Spider Summons, which were active and also interrupted some of the archers, so that was good work there. And for the Chaos player, Sartorial got an okay amount of kills for his price. The Shaggods were mostly focusing down important targets like my Necrotect, but luckily I could kind of catch them and focus them down, and they were kind of in this massive melee blob and then against the Ushabtis, so they got a lot of damage. And when they were trying to flee, I just netted them. That's what the net is for. And it does not net down the whole area anymore, so I can use it with clear conscience. And the Hell Cannon got a good amount of kills, even though it kind of got focused down and interrupted by this one troop of Skeleton Warriors, which just marched straight for it, and the other the Chaos player wasn't really doing anything against it, so that was lucky for me. Kind of managed to shift around his focus. But then these Skeleton Warriors Spearmen died, yeah. And later on, the one troop of Nehekaran horsemen basically circled around and killed it from behind. And that was the end of it. Pretty costly piece of artillery there, and it died. And for the Chaos Warriors, they basically ate through my Skeleton Warriors pretty good. But then again, the Ushabtis, they didn't perform too well, especially since the Chaos Marauders were routed off beforehand, or were stuck back there trying to defend the Hell Cannon. More on a passive road. Yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed this battle. Have a nice day, and bye!